Listen closely. There comes a moment in life, usually sometime after 60, when you finally see the truth with a clarity you never had in your 20s, 30s, or even 40s. A moment when you look at your life not with fear of the future, but with an understanding forged by decades of experience. You realize something important. You have spent far too many years carrying the burden of pleasing others. You kept the peace. You avoided conflict. You softened your words. You sacrificed your needs. You let others take more than they ever gave, not because you were weak, but because you believed it was the right thing to do, and it was, until it wasn't, because there comes a point when people stop appreciating your kindness and start expecting it. They stop valuing your generosity and start exploiting it. They stop respecting your boundaries and start erasing them, and if you're over 60, you know exactly what this feels like. At this age, you're wiser, calmer, and clearer than ever before. But you are also tired of being the one who holds everything together, tired of carrying guilt, tired of saying yes while your heart whispers no, tired of giving to people who rarely give back, tired of living by a script that was written by others. Today, that script ends because the second half of your life, the years after 60, require a different kind of strength, a strength rooted not in aggression but in clarity, not in cruelty but in truth, not in ego but in self-respect. And that's why today you're going to learn the 10 darkest lessons that will finally destroy the weak people pleaser inside you. Not by turning you into someone cold or unkind, but by turning you into someone balanced, wise, and uncheckable, a person who gives because they want to, not because they fear the consequences of saying no, a person who is respected, not used, valued, not taken for granted, honored, not overlooked. Let us begin. Lesson 1: kindness without boundaries becomes a weapon used against you. I learned early in life that kindness was a virtue, and it is, but after 60, you finally understand something darker. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. People pleasers don't set boundaries because they fear being disliked, a disappoint others, causing conflict, buying seen as selfish. But here's the truth you learn with age. People who get angry when you set boundaries are the very people who benefited from you having none, and the older you get, the more you realize this. You spent years, maybe decades, trying to keep harmony, yet some people still complained, some still found fault, some still took advantage. You suffered quietly, thinking, if I give a little more, if I bend a little more, they will finally appreciate me. But they never did they? Because appreciation does not grow from sacrifice. It grows from boundaries. Today, you stop apologizing for saying, no, I can't do that right now. That doesn't work for me. I won't tolerate this anymore. You are not here to carry everyone else's emotional load. You've earned the right to protect your peace, and no one has the right to demand more than you can give. Lesson 2: people value you more when you stop chasing their approval. There's a strange truth that becomes clearer with age. People respect you more when you stop trying to please them. When you were younger, you thought, if I show how helpful, loyal, flexible, and patient I am, people will like me more. But human psychology doesn't work that way. People grow comfortable with whatever version of you they met first. If they met the version who always says yes, they will resent the day you say no. If they met the version who solves their problems, they'll abandon you the moment you need help. If they met the version who chases approval, they'll treat you like someone who hasn't earned their respect. But when you stop chasing, when you stop bending, when you stop trying to earn love that should have been freely given, something shifts. Your voice gains weight. Your presence becomes solid. Your no becomes powerful. Your yes becomes meaningful. After 60, you realize approval is temporary, but self-respect is permanent. People pleasers lose themselves trying to win everyone else. Not anymore. Lesson 3: your silence has been taken as agreement for decades. You stayed silent to avoid conflict. You didn't speak up when someone crossed the line. You didn't correct someone who spoke to you disrespectfully. You didn't tell someone they were wrong, even when they were, and because of your silence, People assumed, you agreed you didn't mind you were comfortable you were harmless, but you were none of those things. You were simply trying to keep peace. There is a dark truth here. Silence is often mistaken for permission. People don't always consider your feelings. They consider your reaction. If you don't react, they assume you're fine. If you don't object, they assume you approve. If you don't protest, they assume you'll tolerate more. Today, that ends because the older you get, the more you realize your voice matters. Your comfort matters. Your boundaries matter. Your truth matters, and a single sentence spoken with calm confidence becomes more powerful than years of silent suffering. Lesson 3. Your silence has been taken as agreement for decades. You stayed silent to avoid conflict. You didn't speak up when someone crossed the line. You didn't correct someone who spoke to you disrespectfully. You didn't tell someone they were wrong, even when they were, and because of your silence, people assumed, you agreed you didn't mind you were comfortable you were harmless, but you were none of those things. You were simply trying to keep peace. There is a dark truth here. Silence is often mistaken for permission. People don't always consider your feelings. They consider your reaction. If you don't react, they assume you're fine. If you don't object, they assume you approve. If you don't protest, they assume you'll tolerate more. Today, that ends because the older you get, the more you realize your voice matters. Your comfort matters. Your boundaries matter. Your truth matters, and a single sentence spoken with calm confidence becomes more powerful than years of silent suffering. Lesson 4. Not everyone deserves access to you after 60. Your time becomes more valuable than ever. You see life differently. You appreciate the quiet. You value quality over quantity. You notice who drains you and who nourishes you, and most importantly, you finally realize that not everyone deserves access to you. Some people bring drama, some bring disrespect, some bring chaos, some bring endless demands, some bring nothing at all except expectations. In your younger years, you tolerated them because they were familiar, they were old friends you felt obligated, you didn't want to hurt feelings you hoped they would change. But after 60, you learn you cannot carry everyone with you into the next chapter of your life. Not everyone has earned the privilege of your presence. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your compassion. You have the right, the absolute right, to protect your emotional space from people who have done nothing but take from it. This is wisdom, not selfishness. Lesson 5. People will test you until you teach them how to treat you. Human behavior is simple. People repeat what you allow. If you allow disrespect, you will receive more disrespect. If you allow manipulation, you will be manipulated again. If you allow guilt tripping, it will become routine. If you allow people to walk over you, they will run over you. It's not that people are always malicious. It's that human beings learn from patterns. The older you get, the more you understand that you don't get what you deserve, you get what you tolerate. And people pleasers tolerate too much for too long. But after 60, something changes inside you. You finally see that teaching people how to treat you is not an act of aggression, it is an act of self-respect. You don't need to yell. You don't need to argue. You don't need to justify. You don't need to beg for decency. All you need is clarity, and clarity creates respect. Lesson 6. Your value doesn't come from how much you give for most of your life. You've been a giver. You gave time. You gave patience. You gave support. You gave compassion. You gave second chances. People pleasers often think, my value is in what I can offer others, but there is a deep truth waiting for you after 60. Your value is not based on how much you give. It's based on who you are. You are valuable because of your wisdom, your life experience, your moral strength, your resilience, your presence, or insight, your maturity, not because you solve everyone's problems, not because you sacrifice your needs. Not because you carry emotional burdens that were never yours. Your worth is internal, not transactional. When you understand this, you stop giving out of fear and start giving out of genuine love. Lesson 7. You must let go of the role others put you in when you were younger. People put roles on you. The reliable one, the fixer, the understanding one, the forgiving one, the flexible one, the one who never complains. But after 60, You realize something powerful. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to outgrow the role others assigned to you. You don't owe anyone the version of yourself you were 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, or even last year. You are a human being, evolving, learning, growing, transforming, and you have earned the right to rewrite your identity. You no longer exist to meet the expectations of people who refuse to evolve. You exist to honor the truth you've discovered through a lifetime of experience. Lesson 8. You cannot save everyone, and it is not your job to try if you are over 60. You have seen a truth younger people cannot grasp. Most people do not want to be saved. They want to be comfortable. You tried to help people grow, but they repeated the same patterns. You tried to show people the truth, but they ignored your advice. You tried to support people emotionally, but they continued their self-destructive habits. You tried to be the bridge, but they refuse to walk across it. People pleasers carry the weight of others because they fear being useless, but here is the wisdom of age. Your job is not to save people. Your job is to be yourself. Some people will never change. Some people will never listen. Some people will never take responsibility. Some people will never grow, and that is not your failure. It is their choice. You can offer support, but you cannot live their lives for them. Lesson 9. Saying nitrogen monoxide is a sign of strength, not selfishness. Many people over 60 grew up in a time when saying no felt rude or disrespectful, but life teaches you something profound. No is one of the most honest words you will ever speak. No protects your time. No protects your energy. No protects your self-respect. No protects your peace. And after 60, peace becomes priceless. You don't need to explain your reasons. You don't need to justify your boundaries. You don't need to defend your choices. A simple, calm, confident no is enough. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you free. Lesson 1. The second half of your life is for you, not for others. Here is the darkest, most liberating lesson of all. The years after 60 are not meant for people pleasing. They are meant for living. You spent decades caregiving, struggling. It is time to reclaim yourself. This chapter of your life belongs to your peace or joy, your dignity, boundaries, your inner strength, your interests, your passions, your truthnet to the expectations others place on you. You are not here to be background support in other people's stories. You are here to live your own story with the clarity, courage, and wisdom that only age can give. You have earned this, you deserve this, and no one, no friend, no family member, no stranger has the right to take this chapter away from you. Closing message. The rise of your true self. Take a breath. You are entering a different season of your life, not the end of your story, but the beginning of a wiser, clearer, stronger one. The people pleaser inside you was born long ago, but today you release it. You stand tall. You speak clearly. You protect your peace. You honor your truth. You set boundaries without guilt. You give without fear. You live without apology. You are not here to be used. You are not here to be overlooked. You are not here to carry everyone else's expectations. You are here to live with dignity, clarity, and strength. This is your time now, your chapter, your beginning, your rebirth, and it starts today.